Hello, hello. This is Yuri with Moving Sales Professionals and Let's Talk Moving podcast. And with me today, again, I have Nate Becker with Higher Ground Moving. How you doing today?
Hey there, hi there, ho there. It's pretty darn good, man. I'm really excited to be on this morning, hang out with you and talk a little shop.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So we haven't
Yeah.
talked in about a year or so, give and take.
Man, remember last time we talked? I broke my leg the day before.
Right, you
Remember
did. I remember that. And ironically enough, right now I have a broken bone in my foot.
that? Well, who would you have to kick to get that? No.
It's not. I slipped next to a balcony at a Mexico resort. It sucks. I wish I could say it was something different, but
Isn't aging fun? You just think things like
yeah.
that. You could just bouncing when you're
And I've
20.
never had a broken, I swear, I never had like, I've had a broken w wrist when I was like 13, but I've never broken anything since then. So that was it. I
My
just went
bones
like,
are
whoop.
physical. I'm always hurt, but since the year ago when I broke my leg, I've been really focusing on rehabilitating and never letting that happen to me again while still going hard and being adventurous.
Yeah. I mean, that part was just like slippery floor, man.
There was no
It was
banana
just,
peel.
no, like it was, no, my wife was there, but she was in the bathroom and she came out and I was on the floor in pain.
She's just pointing at you like, you okay,
Yeah,
buddy?
you know, she laughed at me. Yeah, she did.
That's what wives do.
Yeah.
That's what wives do.
Well, it was like the good thing is that she didn't see me flying whenever that happened. I just banged my like next to my toe, just like bang right against that tile floor.
Yeah.
It was extremely painful, hilarious, I'm sure, but painful. And
And
now it's like week one out of the way. I got like 3 to 5 weeks to go.
so you're still hobbling.
Yeah, yeah. It's
You must be
it's
doing the podcast sitting
Es-
down then.
especially the other night, it hurt. I don't know what it was. Like I woke up in the middle of the night and I couldn't sleep because I was in so much pain. But anyway, it happens. It's not even aging because it's not like I just hurt. Like it was just something stupid. Like you slip and go. That's it. And now for a word from our sponsors. If you're a moving business owner, you may have already heard of Moversville, an email marketing service that helps moving companies increase, repeat, and referral business. But have you heard of Moversville Connect? Moversville Connect is an incredible resource for all things moving. They feature an array of vendors and services that cater specifically to the moving industry. You can find companies that provide moving software, moving sales services, marketing services, moving equipment providers, and much, much more. Visit moversville.com today to learn more.
That's my favorite update over the last year. We had some other good ones too. Had our first $1 million year
Awesome.
in the time we spoke. So that's huge. That's been a goal of mine since year one. This is year five. It finally happened. Just making a lot of effort to try and grow the company out of one that started in a garage into one that can it's actually a true blue pat on the back moving company. And
Well,
it's been a fun journey so far. It's been one that I've never learned so much in such a short amount of time.
yeah, I can relate. It's the same thing. We've learned a lot, obviously. Our podcast, we're past episode 90, so we're like well on this way to hitting 100 episodes. We
Yeah,
just hit
that's
a
awesome.
thousand Instagram followers literally today. So it's like it's definitely a lot of things working. But yeah, you gotta restructure. We did a lot of restructuring this year.
Gotcha. I followed you on Instagram, so maybe I was a help with that.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
I
Yeah,
thought
when
I
you're
followed you
niche,
a
it's
long
kind
time
of
ago. I guess I just
yeah.
followed your personal Instagram. Now I got the Moving Sales Professionals Instagram as well. So we're
Oh,
on.
that's good. I appreciate that. I like to think that I have something to offer to to the industry as a whole, and like especially when you have conversations with long time established professionals in the industry, and you start talking shop, and you
They've
realize
had some
that
great guests.
you're talking about the same things, and you're feeding off each other, and it's like it kind of gives you justification. You realize, wow, I really do have something to offer to the industry and to people as a whole. So that's nice thing. It keeps you
It
humble.
Yeah, but you're in a super niche podcast. You got nearly 100 of them. That's saying something. That's a big one right there. I'm kind of happy to just to be some guy out of Bend, Oregon, and you'd be do me the honor of having me on. So it
Hey,
feels
no, it's fun. We want to keep it interesting. We want I want to have people that are real and are not boring. And you're certainly not boring, so that's great.
In person, I'm more fun than in front of a computer, I swear.
Well, we'll hang out at some point. I don't know if I'll ever make it to Oregon. It's way on the other side of the country for me, but I'm sure you and I will connect at some point in person.
Yeah.
I always like to do that.
Yeah, we connected before at the Massaro retreats, and I kind of wanted to talk about I'm feeling a little left out and bummed out that I'm not in Florida right now with all the rest of the top one percenters. It seems like all the top moving companies are out in Florida at the Tighten Up retreats. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, I mean, I heard about it. I've called them. I mean, for me personally, I made plans this year to go to a different country. So
Oh,
I'm going to be going to a moving company event in UK.
oh, no way.
So like, and I've always been interested in that market, so I'm going, and I have
Nice.
like some guys that I'm already hooking up with when I get over there. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be exciting. I've never been to UK, so it's gonna be interesting for me.
I
But
follow a
I've
few of them on Instagram.
yeah,
They do such weird things and they call things interesting things. There's a trolley and a
hmm
lolly and I,
right.
I love
Right,
I love
right,
what
right,
they do.
right. Yeah, they do. I mean, they call everything survey when it comes to on-site estimates, so they
Yep.
call it survey,
Hmm.
right? But yeah, there's a it's I mean, it's very similar in a lot of ways. Like their pricing, they do everything based on cubic feet. So do local
Oh,
cubic feet. They do like
really?
obviously their long distances are a lot shorter than they are here because they're going to France or they're going to Spain or they're going to Wales or they're going to Ireland. It's not Scotland. It's not as far for them as it is for us to go from California to New York, for example,
Mhm.
right? Does your company need more creative marketing and ad campaigns to improve traffic and organic leads? Well, Moving Sales Professionals has a solution for you. We have partnered with social media marketing agency that has over 300 million views on their ads and videos across social media, and they have generated over $35 million for their clients over the last 10 years alone. Their services include content creation, social media ads, pay-per-click campaigns, website and funnel development, Google Ads, email marketing campaigns, lead generation, and much, much more. For limited time only, they have discounted rates for their services. Sign up for a free consultation call with us via our Calendly link on our website or below this video. So it's shorter distances, but everything is based on cube. That's like you might have a couple of companies that do it hourly, but they're definitely outside of the curve. Majority do things based on cubic foot.
Well, whenever we go outside of like 100-mile radius, we go based on cubic foot ourselves. So it's a nice thing to get to learn, and it's a smart algorithm to use. Like you to get the general weight, you take your cubic feet and you times it by
Right.
7, and you get your
Right, that's the
weight.
general number, but of
Yeah.
course, with the if you're doing things on cubic feet, it's kind of like, and this is exactly what I do. If I'm quoting for a company that's doing things based on weight, which is how you're supposed to do it,
Yeah, weight's different than cubic feet for
right,
sure.
which is the way that you're supposed to do it by Department of Transportation. That's how they want you to do it, right?
Mhm.
I always, if I'm quoting for a weight-based company that are doing it the proper way, right? Then I'm telling the customer, well, the weight, I'm not determining your price. The volume, your price is going to depend on how well the person stacks the truck. Things don't stack perfectly square because there's different shapes and sizes. Unless you have just boxes, you're not going to be winning in a stacking game. And second
No.
of all, you basically have somebody playing Tetris for furniture, trying to stick a square piece of furniture into a round hole or whatever, vice versa. So it's like, and some things you can't stack because they're fragile, and you can't
Oh
put
yeah.
anything on top, or you don't want to
Yeah.
put that thing on top of anything.
No, the,
And
the cubic foot, I mean, there's a lot of issues with us doing
mhm,
it too. There's a lot of things like some loaders can load tight, some loaders don't
mhm,
load as tight.
right,
But we don't have a weigh station near enough to us to get
right,
our pre and post weights so that we have to
right.
do the cubic foot.
So I
And
think I think the best way to my personal opinion, of course,
yeah, yeah.
is that I think if you're gonna do flat rates, for example, I think the best way to do it is just based on truck size. So
Hmm.
this much for 16 footer, this much for 24, this much for 26, because I think that makes more sense. And you can tell the person, based on this inventory, it looks like it's going to fit into a 16-foot truck. But keep in mind, there are things that are not stackable. So if you have something like that, it will in fact affect the space that your stuff takes up in the truck. There's 50 billion pieces of furniture out there, and you can't possibly account for everything that's out there.
And you don't know if it's been fixed by grandpa 40 years ago when
That
everyone
too.
forgot about it. You just don't know the condition of things
Mm.
and then the prevalency of IKEA and that stuff.
Uh, well, no mover in their right mind is going to insure Presswood furniture, first of all.
No, we don't. No, no,
Nope,
nobody
nobody. I
does.
don't think anybody does because, like, honestly, you press hard enough with a finger, you're going to leave a mark.
Yeah, we do whatever we can. We like to stretch wrap those things tight. I mean, just try and do whatever we can to hold it together when we move that
Yeah.
horrible MDF
Yeah, but you always
medium
tell
density.
people it's not, that stuff is not designed to be moved.
No, it's not. Sell it at the house or get something different.
Hmm. Yeah,
But yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
usually with us, we're good enough about how we load it in the truck. That stuff doesn't generally, we don't generally have damages. Like our damage rate is less than 1%. I think
No, that's awesome.
that's just, I mean, I'm happy with it. But when we do have damages, it like eats at our my soul and my wife's soul and my salesperson Ruby her
Well,
soul.
yeah, you want to take care of people. Especially if it's you had this great conversation and you have this great relationship, and then they call
We
you back and
promise so much.
right, and then you get that call back, and then you hear something's damaged, it makes you go like, "Ah," you're not telling the customer that, but the part of you is just what's to like yell at the mover, even though it's probably not their fault,
I
but
mean, you got to figure like we got right. We our company we have 4 trucks. We have 4 to 5 crews going out every day. Three
Mhm.
to five crews going out every day, and we have damages less than 1% of the time. To me, I just want to hug my movers each time they get back to the shop because they're going in and out of the house hundreds of times.
Yeah, yeah,
Moving tons, literal tons of stuff every day, tons, and we have, I mean, barely ever a wall nick. So
yeah. No,
that's a
that's good, and that's important. That's something that you want to give your movers bonuses for, because like
oh
the
yeah.
less of that stuff, the better it is, the better reviews you're gonna have. The ultimately more business you're gonna have down the road. That stuff is so important.
Yeah, my man. So check this out. So you said reviews. So that's this month we've had a huge incentive for our guys to get photo reviews on Google. I've been seeing whenever we get photo reviews on Google, there's a lot of views organically to them, and Google keeps on like putting us higher up in the algorithm somehow. So I've actually paid out the winner of last month. He got a ton of reviews. I paid him $800 for those reviews. That was just the winner, and then everyone else on the crew they also got paid out between $20 and a couple $100. So I spent about 1,200 to 1,300 on review bonuses for September, more than I
Mhm.
wanted to, a lot more than I wanted to, but it was because it was so effective. My guys just blew me away and crushed what I was expecting, and I'm paying for it.
Right. But
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 it's
you know
good.
what? I'll tell you one thing. I've had owners that I had to deal with that just like they just feel horrible having to write out a big check, right? Guys, here's the deal. If your movers are getting a great check, that means that they're earning money for you.
Yes.
If your salespeople are getting a great check, they're making money for you.
Say that one
I
again.
am perfectly happy writing my people big check because that tells me that they're working their butts off, and that tells me that they made me money. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
I
love it
never
when payrolls
understand
high.
people that are like, oh, ugh,"
Yeah,
and then they take an extra day to pay you, and it's just like, okay, what does this do?
yeah, no, I hear you, and I think it's really important to keep morale up,
Yeah.
keep offering incentives to. I mean, because we're all humans, we're incentive-based creatures. That dangling carrot's going to be fun to go after.
Right. And that go plays into company culture, because company culture is
Mm.
what makes people want to work for you, want to stay with you, want to bring other good people to you.
That's hard. I think I've talked to other moving companies. I got a buddy in town. He owns Ben Brothers Moving. We're on the phone all the time. We're frenemies, We're both competition, but we both got each other's backs. And we see that it's so hard to keep the company morale, the company culture up because this is an
Yeah.
industry where, I mean, it's when things go bad, they go bad. Like some people
Hmm.
could get hurt on the job, or some people could
Right.
be hating the way the office is doing things, but it's not the office's fault. The clients have been bad this month, but it's not their fault. The mortgage
Hmm.
rate's been bad.
Hmm.
It's a lot of I feel like there's been a lot of stress in this
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
year.
last 2 years coming out of that great winter post COVID,
Mhm.
like a lot of people had all these expectations because the winter was uncommon, right?
Yeah, it was good.
And then it just dropped, like the end dropped out. And realistically, a lot of companies went out of business, and
I've been
just in
seeing it. I've
general,
been seeing it
last
on
couple of
Craigslist.
years, I feel like, I mean, the interest rates are finally starting to go down.
Yeah, what'd you
Um,
see about that? What is the newest updates? They just
I,
dropped like a
I,
percent, right?
yeah, I heard they're dropping to like 4.5, 4.75, something like
Yeah.
that, which is
Okay.
like almost a percentage point.
Yeah,
Because it
that's
was like
good. Good.
5.75. I mean, depending on, I guess, on your credit or what have you. It's not quite what I'm paying for my mortgage right now because I got it in a good time, but
Show off.
still, if it keeps on dropping, it's going to help us. If the election is coming, so post-election, people move more
Yeah.
because I mean, some people support whatever the new administration is doing, some support whatever the old administration did. So some
Oh,
movement
okay.
happens, so that's going
Oh, yeah.
to help us. And then we'll see what happens the rest of the way. I don't know. I mean, like I think like we're hopefully, I don't know. I obviously I can't put a prognosis on any of this, but like hopefully we're nearing the end of the worst time, and then we're gonna see uh it going up because like that's what I've noticed is that the industry is going up and down and up and down. It's kind of
Oh,
like,
yeah.
so hopefully we're starting to slowly go towards the rise. I think
I
we I
actually
think we're about as low as we can go.
I embrace the low periods. I've only been around for 5 years in this, but I embrace the low periods because it kind of weeds out the people who are
Yeah,
just who aren't the effort, who aren't putting in the
right.
effort. And then
Absolutely.
that lets me buy their stuff, you know?
Right.
And it smooths it up again. But I
Yeah,
kind
you
of
get less expensive trucks, less expensive equipment. Like there's trucks out there that are like super cheap versus what they used to be.
I actually noticed that too. That's funny you say that. But I had a couple of interesting stories I kind of wanted to tell you about a couple of stressful things that have happened in the last little bit here at Higher Ground. If you want to hear them,
Sure, sure.
might be fun. Well, we had we had one, and so everyone knows that moving is the most stressful time in people's lives, other than death and divorce. Sometimes we get people who are moving because of divorce or death. This one was
Or
because of
both.
divorce. The husband was paying for the whole move, but the wife was the point of contact for most of it. We had to put probably about 15,000 pounds worth of her stuff into storage, her stuff, not his, but he was paying for it. So she gave us the lock and key. She said, please lock my storage units with my lock and key. We said, we'll do our best. He was paying for it. So he said that he would not allow his storage units to be locked with her lock and key. So he locked it with his lock and key. Come to find out, he then stole all of her stuff and sold it all or gave it all to Goodwill,
Ooh,
all of it. And
wow.
she went on a several month long bad mouthing higher ground moving rampage on every social media, all the review sites, everywhere she can get her hands on, talking about how making up some lies, but also mixing it with some truths that were out of our control. That added quite a bit of stress because we're
Sure.
fierce to protect our reputation. So have you ever had anything like that happen before?
I've dealt with some situations like that that it wasn't necessarily like I had we were doing this, so I booked this move. This lady was nice as pie when she was booking, of course. They all
Apparently.
are. They all are, right? So she was nice as pie. We were moving and she cleaned this guy out. It was a divorce and she took everything, including washers, dryers, anything that she could pull off a wall. She left it bare.
Took the spackle.
Yeah, she left everything bare, like including any appliances, any hookups. She took everything. And the guy is there. He's like, I feel for you guys because he's like, I've been married to her for 30 years. I feel for you. Like I was like, okay, great. This guy's like, and I don't remember if he was paying for it or whatever, but yeah, I mean, we did all this extra stuff for her, like that we're not
Mhm.
supposed to do. For that moving company did anyway. They did
Yeah.
all this extra stuff for her. They unhooked her washers, dryers, hooked them up. This is
Yeah.
generally not something that you want
Yeah.
to do.
Things
But
you
they
don't do,
but
but
did
it's
that they did
nice,
this
right?
extra work because the way
Um,
that she made it all sound and how she was in a
for
difficult
me.
situation, right? And whatever.
Yep.
And then she didn't want to pay for things
No.
after you take care
It's
of her and you
like
did
a
all this stuff,
script.
and it's just like, oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like that kind of happens a lot. Not a lot, but those people who project one way that just to trap you and try and
Hmm.
get it right.
Right.
And I'll end my second stressful thing. It's a quick one. I'll end it with I knocked on a door to do the morning walkthrough. It's me and the guys. Hey, this is Higher Ground Moving. Happy to be here. Let's do a walk through the house. The gentleman answered the door. He was talking to me. He had a puppy in his hand. I didn't notice it. He didn't notice it. The puppy was peeing on me for the whole time. So I got an entire wet leg all soaked shoe, just drenched in puppy pee. And
Oh, lovely.
that's how I had to do the move. So
Oh,
that just
oh, you have to
happened.
smell it all the way through. That's a sh
Yeah, I had
that
no way out of it
sucks.
too. So I guess movers, bring a backpack, bring an extra pair of socks and
Yeah,
undies. You just don't
extra change
know.
of clothes.
You just don't know. Yeah, extra shoes. You don't know what you're gonna step in or what's gonna step on you.
Yeah, that does happen because you do get those moves sometimes that just you have to clean places out and they're nasty.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
you get those moves sometimes. It's very rare.
you
Most
got to
movers
do
I
it.
know would just if they come in they see that they're just turn around and leave.
Yeah, I mean, for the most, if it's a health hazard, we will. If
Yeah,
it's someone who's just not as clean as we are and is not up to our standards, we got to deal with it. Just
yeah.
get through. If there's
Yeah,
things.
I think one of my clients had a move last year where literally the movers had to run outside to puke a few times. It was that bad.
Oh no,
Yeah,
we've had things where yeah, the sour smell in the house made the guys want to wear a mask, and I
yeah,
feel for them. I feel for them. I don't want to cross contaminate my furniture pads with that stuff
no,
either, so we don't. And there's
right.
a release waiver, and there's a whole thing. It's just easier not to do those
Yep,
moves,
yep.
but sometimes.
Yeah, it's totally, yeah, in my opinion, it's totally okay to say no sometimes. Just don't take a job sometimes. Like if
That's the
somebody,
biggest
if
thing.
you get if you get a customer that you haven't even provided them with a quote and they're already arguing with you, what do you think is going to happen on the day of? It's just not worth it.
When I started, I never said no to anything.
Mhm.
Now we say no. We say no.
Yeah,
That's
you
the biggest
have
thing.
as you grow, you have to start getting a little bit more selective because at the end of the day, if you get too many of these jobs, what's going to happen is you're going to lose some of the good movers because they're going to get tired of dealing with
And I
this.
did. And I did. I mean, I didn't say no to anything. Things that now just repulse me to think that we
Yeah,
did for money as movers.
right. But yeah, that's what you got to do. But
Yeah.
anyway, it's great to hear the update on every.
Yeah.
Great to hear that you're doing well, hitting a mill. Congratulations, that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's great to have you. I'm sure we'll talk again, and I'm looking forward to hanging out in person at some point.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining us. And like I always say, the world moves on its own, so let the professionals move yours for you. Thank you very much for
Amen.
joining us, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you.